Our second major topic is the principal agent problem and how that deals with compensation and choices made by individuals inside a company. And the main issue here is the ownership and control are different. The owners are not running the business, so they rely on the commitment and judgment and results of the manager. So they've lost control of the day-to-day operations. So the principal agent is if the owner cannot be present to monitor the manager, how best can that owner guide the efforts of the manager to make sure the outcomes are what you want? The owners now have to incent the managers since they are not present to monitor their activities. So what are the trade-offs in terms of the manager? Well, I could work or I could not work. So therefore, maybe I want to just work as little as possible to get my paycheck and not get fired, right? So there's a trade-off there from a kind of a selfish and admittedly short-term view of a job. There is a fixed salary. So regardless of the amount of hours I put in and regardless to some extent of the quality of my work, there's not a lot of incentive to put in more effort. And this will adversely affect the firm's performance if you're not putting out your best effort. Incentives are examples of where we try to align those interests, where we tie the manager, their wages, their compensation to performance, so that if we perform, you get paid well. If you don't perform, we don't get paid well. And that ties the manager now to align interests more with the owner. So now when there's the same choice of leisure versus labor, perhaps the manager might stay an extra hour and finish the work they had started rather than go home or go to the golf range, right? Because now they have incentive because the performance is a part of the compensation. Here are some examples of how alignment may occur to make this work. And some of these are directly economic, like financial performance. So if we want to incent for financial performance, we say, oh, there's a stock option. So as the value of the company rises, you will get a share of that. That clearly is used quite a bit for that exact reason. And there might be other bonuses, more short-term nature, like quarterly or annual bonuses based on the measurables of revenues or profits or some other financial measure. The next is there might be development goals. It may be in the long-run interest of a company to retain people and grow their capabilities over time, so they deserve raises, they do more, add more value to the company, so therefore it all kind of works. Things that might be in this vein would be educational reimbursements or bonuses for certifications. So if someone knows they get better their qualifications and skills, and now the company pays for it, there's incentive to take advantage of that benefit. Next, there might be a company that really believes and puts money where their mouth is on social impact. Here they might do things like matching donations. Quite a common action done by companies is the match, say, the first $1,000 of any employee donation to any nonprofit, such as their university they attended or some local cause. And that's an incentive for employees then to also do what the company wants, is commitment to the community. They may give you a day off to do that and serve the community, which is in their interest to show the company cares about the cleanliness of a beach. There are external incentives too, in addition to what might be constructed by contract or by practice. And these include things like reputation. If you're known as a good manager that delivers results and a good person to work for, well, it's transferable to the next company. So should something bad occur in the company or should another opportunity come up, you might be in a better position to apply for and get a position of higher responsibility and higher compensation. The other is, if we don't perform well as managers of the business, we've now set up the company for a possible takeover because underperforming companies may be acquired by another who feel they can run it better. And we don't want to give that excuse to your current owner or some other suitor that they can do a better job than you. So this risk is a little bit more on what we would discuss as the paranoia view of motivation. It might create a little paranoia or concern that you better perform or the whole company may go away. The other side of the principal agent problem is with the manager and the workers. It's a very similar problem, except now we're down one level. Here we have some solutions such as profit sharing, revenue sharing, piece rates, and time clock spot checks. So we've already discussed from the context of the owner to the manager the profit sharing, revenue sharing types of things by way of bonuses or stock options. But we haven't talked about piece rates. We wouldn't imagine that a manager would be paid by the piece. In other words, for every decision I make, I get so much money. That's not how a manager should be compensated. And time clocks and spot checks, again, probably not what we would do to a manager, like have them punch in and punch out of a clock as they come and leave work.